Bobby, can you talk about Adam Miller's situation and what is your understanding, and will he play tomorrow, Saturday?
Adam, as you're probably aware, the federal court judge ruled that two-time transfers were going to be able to play. I believe I've seen other statements that the NCAA has issued regarding two-time transfers, that there being no eligibility issues with those players, nor any harm to institutions involved in players that would play during the next 2 weeks. So I spoke with Adam about every possible scenario, and it's his desire and will, to want to play on Saturday.
I saw something today that said that that's not necessarily the case, that they're not guaranteeing that if this thing gets reversed, the players won't burn a year of eligibility. Would that change your mind if that is a
that
factor?
goes into what I said about presenting all scenarios to Adam. So I don't know the percentages, the likelihood of whether a court case gets overturned or not. That's not my area of expertise, but I will say that Adam is prepared to accept the consequences of playing in these two games. And he's got 3 years of eligibility, and he's already been in college for a number of years, so I don't think that's going to impact him.
So he wants to go.
Yes.
What was his, when you talked to him, was he pretty excited? Because obviously he didn't look good a week ago.
Yeah, his teammates know what he's been through and how stressful this has been for him, considering he's already got some mental health factors that were part of his waiver. And then the denial was a real setback to him. He felt, you could see what that took out of him, but to have this decision in his behalf now, you could see his teammates were just like embracing him, and they could tell like what a weight was lifted off his shoulders. And I would say relief is the best word that I could describe. But like yesterday and today, I mean, he's like, you can see he's like a different guy. Like you can see he looks happy. He's like full of life, and so it was a real positive thing for Adam. I'm happy for him.
How much can he add to your team? Obviously, offensively, we've talked about the struggles and inconsistencies. Add a lot.
He's he brings beyond just the shooting and which we need, and the free throw shooting and things like that at the offensive end. He's got experience and toughness, like mental toughness, and like we need to get tougher. We were not that way in the second half for San Diego, and you add another guy into the equation that brings that, and that is desperately needed, particularly with the opponent that we have coming up. Now, it doesn't solve everything in terms of the interior presence with Sean being out and the rebounding, but getting him back should be a shot in the arm for our team. And I don't know what that's going to mean immediately. I mean, Adam hasn't played a game in a long time, so you got to be mindful of that. But he has had the opportunity to practice for a number of months.
What's the status of Meeks? Any chance that he plays this one?
I would say no, because he didn't practice today. Now, he could feel better somehow tomorrow and say that he would want to practice, and then that might be an option, but I can't bank on that at this moment, because he hasn't given me any indication that he would be able to practice tomorrow.
When Adam's going through this and it's just kind of a waiting game, I'm sure there's a level of helplessness, on your end. What sort of things are you trying to do? What sort of resources has the program tried to give him to help navigate those mental health?
Well, I mean, our sports administrator, Ken Lanfear, did a very good job of presenting the possibility. We have an in-house sports psychologist that happened to be in LA, and we were, if needed, we were prepared to fly him, to San Diego, just to be able to be there for Adam when his waiver was denied. And he took the news very difficult. It was very difficult for him. You could see it in his face and how he responded when I had to tell him the news. But he has a level of maturity about him, and he's a fighter, and he's able to push through as bad as he feels. And mentally about what's going on, Adam was able to keep going. A lot of people shut down and they just can't handle mental health, and maybe they just close the drapes and close the door and don't want to get out of bed. Like, Adam is the type of kid that even though he's struggling with something, he's not going to let you know about it, and he's just going to persevere and fight through it. That's the type of kid he is.
with Bryson's expanded role, against San Diego, what do you make of that performance, and what do you foresee for him moving forward?
Bryson's had a very good attitude for a guy that's hasn't gotten the opportunity, and I just felt like he's practicing a little bit better. I see the ball going in, and for him it was a good matchup. When you play a team that's playing a lot of zone, he was able to do what he does best, and he kept it very simple. And when he had his opportunities, he made shots, and he was not a liability on defense. So he certainly has got our attention in terms of knowing that he could help us, and we need to develop our bench. And I think the third game in a week caught up to us in the second half of the San Diego game, and our defense really melted down late in the game. And I think some of it is due to all the tough games that we've had leading into that game, and then maybe fatigue. So if we could get guys back, like Adam coming back, is going to be a huge gain for us to not have to play guys 35 minutes. Maybe a guy like Jemiah Neal's now playing 28, 29 minutes, and Frankie kind of the same thing, around 30, and we could distribute the minutes a little better.
Coming back from the San Diego loss, obviously that was a really tough loss. What have you seen from the guys in practice from a mental standpoint and trying to bounce back and having a week to kind of absorb it and bounce back?
Yeah, good question. It's never easy. There's not like a playbook for that. It's just how to see where your guys are, what the psyche of the team looks like. I could just say that I think we have a tremendous amount of respect for TCU and how hard they play in their program, and a number of our guys saw that last year in the NCAA tournament. It was a thrill for me to watch the game yesterday again. It was in preparation for this game, because I hadn't watched it because I just couldn't stomach watching it. But I got chills watching how good we were and some of the things we did in that NCAA tournament game, and then you kind of had to live the dark side of that at the end to see us not get it done. But so I think the guys know we have a serious opponent in front of us that plays very hard and is going to try and really attack the glass and attack the paint. So we're just trying to prepare for the things that are going to be in front of us.
Their future conference foe, we've kind of talked about that a little bit in the past. Does that add another layer to it?
I just don't. I think it's more, in this particular case, it's like the storyline would be that we saw them last year in the NCAA tournament. That's, they made the necessary plays down the stretch to win that game. I thought it was a very well played game, and so we're just excited to see an opponent that potentially down the line here it would be in a position to be an NCAA tournament team again.
You said you watched it. Did you show the team the film too?
We haven't watched film yet. We will watch a bunch of film tomorrow, and then even Saturday leading into the game. But we discussed it with the guys. I talked to them about some examples of things that they did really positively in that game. Gaffney, I remember from watching it yesterday, blocking a 3-point shot and getting fouled, and Jemiah made some really good plays on offense, and Frankie had a tremendous dunk where I thought, his reaction was unbelievable on the TV. Just looked like his eyes were going to almost pop out of his head. He was so excited about what he did. So it was just really cool to get a chance to kind of relive that yesterday.
So Frankie, what's your sort of assessment of what happened against San Diego and what you guys have to do to prevent that?
Play defense. Like I said before, I think we build off our defense and intensity on defense. I think allowing 60 points in the second half is insane, and because we barely give that up in a game, so we gave that up in a half. It's hard to win that way.
Was it the approach, not executing the approach that you guys were taking, or was it effort, or what were the factors? I
think it had a lot to do with effort. I think we just wasn't there mentally, and just, I don't know, I think we just broke down defensively, especially once they started seeing shots go in. We kind of just let down.
What's your take on Adam Miller being able to play, and what's the difference you've seen in him since he kind of got the word?
He's always brings great energy into the day, into practice. So that didn't change. So I just knowing that he's going to be able to go out there and play with us on the floor, that just helps us, and that makes us that much better. I think he spaces the floor out. He's someone who understands the game of basketball, plays hard, and he can guard on the defensive end. So I think he just makes us 10 times better.
have you guys have been playing a lot of minutes, and when you guys play 3 games in a week or something like that, does this help in that regard to where you don't need to maybe play everybody quite as many minutes?
I think regardless, our minutes will probably be that high, but I think it just adds Adam to getting ready to play 30 minutes because I mean we're gonna need him, and like I said, he makes us so much better. So, but him being out there, being an extra guy on the floor that can space the floor out, you know, do what he do, attack off the dribble, make others better. I think he's gonna have to be ready to play 30 as well.
What's been your take on how's your team kind of kept him up? Because Coach said he's kind of had it pretty tough there for a while, waiting for this moment.
I think just us being there for him, just coming in every day, going hard, and I think as long as we continue to lock in, you know, do what we're supposed to do on the floor, I think it'll make him feel better about like not being out there. I know he wants to play, so just being in his ear, you know, making sure he's okay mentally. I mean, now he got 14 days, we know, so we should be excited.
What about what Bryson did in that game?
Man, Bryson, that was like a reflection of how he is in practice. He doesn't miss in practice. So, I mean, for him to come out there and step up like that, we kind of ruined his moment in a way. So we apologize to Bryson for that. But, I mean, hopefully that translates on for moving forward and we can get him out there more.
How exciting is it? I'm sorry. How exciting is it to play this team that you lost to last year? And it was a great game down to the wire. And I'm sure you've kind of talked to your teammates about that.
Yeah, they're a great team. They got great coaches. I think this is going to be another opportunity for us to get back into that conversation of, you know, making the tournament, you know, changing the narrative for us. So I think going out there, kind of getting our revenge game back. And they beat us last year at the buzzer. It was hard, but I think this is going to be a really good matchup for us.
What could Bryson, in an expanded role moving forward, add to this team?
I think he can add perimeter shooting, spacing the floor out. Probably teams are trying to go zone on this, but I mean he shoots the ball extremely well, so a lot of floor spacing for us.